Let me give a little a fun little application here for the world of dating, and that's instant gratification versus delayed gratification. A boy, when he meets a girl, wants to, you can have a boy mentality even well into your 20s and 30s, and a boy mentality is the following. I meet an attractive woman and I think, oh wow, we're having a great time, I want her right away. I want gratification immediately. That's a very childish attitude. A more mature man realizes, I'm going to enjoy this girl and I'm going to operate on her timetable, because we're going to continue to have these interactions, and in a month's time or 2 months' time, it'll all come full circle. And a man knows that that's possible, whereas a little boy gets frustrated and says, well, I don't want anything to do with her. And you go to a nightclub at night and you see a bunch of frustrated little boys angry because they fail to realize that a different attitude, having a little patience, they can enjoy the abundance. It reminds me of a joke. There's two bulls at the top of a meadow, and there's all these cows down below. And the young bull looks up at the big bull and says, Daddy, let's run down into the meadow. And the large bull looks down at the little son with a smile on his face, and he says, Son, let's walk down.
Well, yeah, it's true. I mean,
patience is the
patience, patience, and if we had to economize on a lot of this, it would simply be that to become a man, there are going to be points at which you're alone, and you're going to have to go into the unknown and not have answers, not know what to do, and figure some things out just by living and having the experience.
And let's put it bluntly, we live in a pretty civilized world. It's not like Neanderthal times where the uninitiated goes out and he may be killed by wolves.
Yeah,
or the
it's
elements.
hard to get killed.
Yeah, here it's basically
in
some
age.
inconvenience, or you hit with a late fee, to be honest. So everyone is up to a little adventuring and wading into the unknown. For inspiration, there's a kid who just, my father actually pointed him out to me. There's a kid named Zach Zunderfeld, or I'm not sure his name. And he just, at 17, he did a circumnavigation of the world on his own, on a boat out of Marina del Rey. And he's I don't know what his progress is, but basically that's a modern day form of initiation. He's out there on his boat with his own sailing skills in the great unknown. I'm not advocating every guy jump on a boat, but the point is, when Zach returns from his trip, he will be a man. He will have fed himself and survived for a year on the high seas all alone. And that's a pretty, his confidence and self-reliance, I'm sure, will be very high.
And be warned, in this process, you got to avoid the Into the Wild error, a great book and film, John Krakauer, where the young man is angry at his dad for not being a very stand-up guy involved with his life, so he just rebelliously goes out into nature and says, I'll just figure it out. But he goes out there unprepared. He doesn't have the patience and the discipline to truly prepare before going out into the wild, and he ends up dead for his naivete. So as you go out there into the unknown, not knowing exactly what to do, that's not to say you don't prepare. You do prepare. And as you do so, recognize times and places where you are unconsciously trying to make somebody your dad, or you're unconsciously trying to make a job your dad, or an organization your dad, or even the military your dad. I think these are the places and times where a man is doing what they've called self-sabotage. I don't really believe in self-sabotage. I think our brains are evolved to always be working well and solving problems, so they don't turn against us and sabotage ourselves. What's happening when we, quote, self-sabotage really is that we're expecting someone or an organization or nature or whatever it is out there to have purposeful, kind intentions for us like a father would, and that is a big error. That's the error of Into the Wild. Nature was not this young man's dad. It's random, and it can kill as easily as it can nurture.
So how does a guy in a situation, you talked about the corporation as parent, nature as, how does a guy know that he's on autopilot? What are some of the watchwords? And I'll take a stab at this from my experience. If I kind of think, oh, my resources will be taken care of, because the resources are key to a man's ability to operate. If I just am on autopilot and think, oh, they'll be there, it'll get fixed somehow.
Right.
It'll just, the outcome always will be fine. It always has been. These are immature mindsets. A mature man takes full stock of what he has, what he needs. How secure is that job really? What is the long-term earning potential here? Like in terms of retirement, in terms of getting promotions. What is this woman, for example, really going to provide me in the long term? Asking questions that are very blunt, very clear about what I need as a man and where it's going to come from, and will that be available in the near and intermediate term? Those are legitimate questions to ask. And if the resources, if it's vague or you're not sure, then it's responsibility of the individual to say, this isn't a situation that's going to work for me, or I better make alternative plans.
Translation, if you're not at the steering wheel, nobody else is going to be.
Right.
You know, Dad's not coming. You know, as your big brother, I got to tell you, at your age, Dad isn't coming. He's not going to help you out of this one. So you can't leave the steering wheel of life and just, quote, hope it works out, or it always does.
You can ask questions, right?
Yes.
You can say, all right, well, here are my expectations. Can you meet them of an employer, of a relationship?
Sure.
It's the responsibility of a mature man to be thinking about what is coming down the pike and taking responsibility for it.